think this is a big misunderstanding.
Governor Pence signs the controversial Religious Freedom Act into law, the proposal that's brought national scrutiny to the Hoosier state and has some threatening to pull money out of the Indianapolis economy. Governor Mike Pence signed the bill into law despite growing pressure from opponents.
And his message today, the bill is not about discrimination. RTV6 State House reporter Katie Hines is live at the State House with details and a reaction. Katie?
Todd and Erica, Governor Pence says that he signed the bill into law because he supports freedom of religion for every person in this state. He defended his decision during a press conference with reporters earlier this morning, and he discounted critics and opponents, saying they misunderstand the purpose of this law.
This bill is not about discrimination. And if I thought it was about discrimination, I would have vetoed it.
With a crowd of supporters by his side, but no media in the room, Governor Pence signed the Religious Freedom Act into law during a private ceremony. The statute brings Indiana in line with 19 other states.
This is just a good faith effort in Indiana to ensure that Hoosiers have the same religious protections in our state laws that a majority of other states have.
The governor pointed to a recent lawsuit in which the University of Notre Dame challenged a mandate under the Affordable Care Act requiring the school to offer insurance coverage in violation of its religious beliefs. Over and over again, he stressed the argument that the law could allow discrimination is a misunderstanding.
Let me say again, this legislation restricts government action. It doesn't apply to disputes between private parties unless government action is involved.
The governor says RFRA has never been used to overturn an anti-discrimination law. But when pressed if he's concerned about whether it could be used to turn someone away from a business, the governor said this.
It's a question for the judiciary.
Democratic leaders at the State House who tried to convince the governor not to sign the law say today's move is a step back for Indiana.
I said on the floor of the House, if this isn't about discrimination, prove it. They haven't proven it. They had an opportunity to state very clearly in the bill what it did not do. They refrained.
The law takes effect on July 1st, and we talked to Visit Indy tonight. They tell us they've received phone calls from more than 50 people in the last 48 hours. These are individuals who are planning to visit the city of Indianapolis and have questions about the law that was passed today. This comes after Visit Indy dealt with 2 conventions earlier this week, the organizers who said they were threatening to pull their events if this was signed into law. Hear more about the potential economic impact coming up tonight at 6. For now, we're live. Katie Hines, RTV6.
Response has been swift, coming throughout the day from all sides, including the NCAA, which says this could jeopardize future events in Indianapolis. This statement from the NCAA President Mark Emmert: "We are especially concerned about how this legislation could affect our student athletes and employees. We will work diligently to assure student athletes competing in and visitors attending next week's men's Final Four in Indianapolis are not impacted negatively by this bill. Moving forward, we intend to closely examine the implications of this bill and how it might affect future events as well as our workforce."
Tech giant Salesforce has announced it is canceling all travel for customers and employees to Indiana because of the passage of the Religious Freedom Act. Founder and CEO Mark Benioff made that announcement on Twitter. Salesforce owns ExactTarget, which has a huge presence in Indianapolis. He also announced last night that the company would dramatically reduce its investment in Indiana because of RFRA.
This from Indiana Right to Life. This bill will give pro-lifers a necessary legal resource if they are pressured to support abortion against their deeply held religious beliefs. RFRA is an important bill to protect the religious freedom of Hoosiers who believe the right to life comes from God, not government.